First of all, we need people in office that, as Susan said, are not just ideological, that actually look at the facts and try to figure out something to do. Joe Sestak spent most of his career in the United States Navy, and he was given jobs to do. As he said, the first job he had in the Navy probably is more relevant to what he's had to do the last year or so than all the admiral jobs he had. The first job he had was to figure out how to minimize the impact of all the mistakes that were made. And that's basically what he's had to do for the last year and a half. Now, here's what I know about him. The Pentagon picked him, of all the officers of his rank in the entire military, not just in the Navy, to assign to the National Security Council to work for the President on national security matters in my first term. It had nothing to do with the fact that I was a Democrat. They had no idea if he had any politics. They picked him because they thought of all the people of his rank that every 4 years they send somebody over there. Maybe there's a 3-year rotation. They thought he was the best person in the entire military to come in and do that, to help me think through these problems for America's security and solve them. And I think that's a pretty important thing. Obviously, I had no prior contact with him before he came to work in the White House. Clearly, he had nothing to do with my campaign for president in 1992. He was in the military and couldn't. But I knew enough to know that he was invaluable while he was there. Because I came in, I'd been a governor, I knew what I was supposed to do on the economy. I had a lot to learn in national security, and thanks to Joe Sestak, I learned a lot in a short time, and we did a pretty good job of protecting America and promoting peace and making this a better country. And he had a lot to do with that. Then, by my second term, when we knew that Osama bin Laden and al-Qaeda were the #1 security threat to the United States, Joe had a field command in the Navy, a fleet command, and he was responsible for the attack I launched on the al-Qaeda training camps in an attempt to get Osama bin Laden, which is still, as far as we know, the closest we ever came to getting him, and we would have done it had he not been warned off by somebody else. So I obviously have a lot of confidence in him because I've seen him do things to protect you and your children and your future.